Welcome, everyone. I'm sure we've all come across someone who made life a bit more complicated than it needed to be. Whether it was a classmate, a coworker, or maybe even a family member, we've encountered people who frustrate or confuse us. Today, we're going to explore the concept of the difficult person. After completing this lecture, you'll have a clearer idea of what makes someone difficult and how this impacts your interactions with them. Learning objectives. This lecture is an attempt to define what a difficult person is. Identify key traits that characterize difficult people. Understand why certain people are perceived as difficult. Begin thinking about how these behaviors affect your life and how you might respond. Let's start by asking, what makes a person difficult? A difficult person isn't simply someone who disagrees with you or has a different viewpoint. It goes deeper than that. Difficult people tend to exhibit behaviors that create tension, frustration, or conflict in everyday interactions. This can happen in any setting, work, school, or even within friendships. Key traits of difficult people. What are the signs that someone is difficult? There are a few common traits that many difficult people share. Inflexibility. They are unwilling to compromise or adapt to new situations. They want things their way, no matter how inconvenient it may be for others. Negativity. They tend to focus on problems instead of solutions. You might hear constant complaints or criticism, but rarely see any attempts to fix things. Poor listening skills. Difficult people often don't listen to others. They talk over you or disregard your input, making communication frustrating. Control issues. Some difficult people have an overwhelming need to be in charge, even in situations that don't call for it. Now, let's consider the deeper reasons behind these traits. People are often difficult because of internal struggles, things like insecurity, stress, or personal frustration. For example, someone who feels out of control in their life might compensate by trying to control everyone else. Understanding these root causes is important because it helps us not take difficult behavior personally. Analogy. Imagine a radio station that constantly broadcasts static. You keep trying to tune in, but no matter how much you adjust the dial, the sound remains unclear. Now think of a difficult person as that static. The more you try to tune them, the more frustrated you get because they're not communicating clearly and the message is lost. But sometimes the problem isn't the radio. You need to step back and understand that the issue may not be fixable without changing the approach. Moral of the analogy. Just like you can't change the radio's static, you can't always change a difficult person's behavior. However, you can change how you respond to it. Follow-up assignments. Write a one-page reflection on a personal experience with a difficult person. Include why you found them difficult and what you think might have been the root cause of their behavior. Create a list of behaviors you find difficult in others, and then research psychological reasons that could explain those behaviors. Let's discuss. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have any of you dealt with someone you would classify as difficult? What traits made them challenging to work with? Feel free to share, as this will help us deepen our understanding of the topic. Conclusion. That's it for today's lecture. In the next lecture, we'll explore the different types of difficult people in more detail. Thank you for your attention, and don't forget to complete the reflection assignment.